the apple twist that we did before. This was blowing up just this big. Now this is going to be a tulip, and you don't need to burp this one because you got plenty of room to work and everything. You just need to. This one here was like a mouthful of air and then a partial mouth of air, just to get that much bubble here. And you do the apple twist here, and you do the full apple twist. Remember earlier I did an apple twist only part way down and cut off. This one goes all the way down to the stem, just like the bird body one that I did earlier. This one here, you come in from this end, not from the side. Come in from the end and grab the knot. Remember, I didn't show you that. Remember the knot's at the end of the finger. You're shoving that in all the way down, catching it with the other hand. You're pulling your finger out. Remember that it gets tight and stuff. You might have to work your way out. Twist the top. You have to use this hand again because this hand's holding. And then push that knot back in there a little bit before you let go of it. And then kind of straighten that out so that sits up there. You can roll it around a little bit and get it in there. And then you have the tulip here. Okay? And what happens if you don't water a tulip? It dies. Just a little trick to do. Just a little thing to do with your fingers. Thumb squeezes it, and as it squeezes it slowly, it kind of wilts, comes back up. Tulip. There's the dog, the tulip, and then to make something that's easy and use a bird body for you is we're going to make a bumblebee for you. You blow a bird body up and pretty much use the whole thing. It's just a little bit less there because when you squeeze it, you're going to need it. And then you have another balloon. It can be any other color or anything. I like to use the clear balloons. Number one, that's a good place to use them. And number two, that looks just like a bee wing. Again, we're blowing this up so we can tie both ends together, give it a little bit of a burp, tie both ends at the same time, closes it off. And then what you want to do here is divide this into two. So here's the knotted end here, and you go straight across and pull on the other end so you know you got the center. And then you can bring that up and twist one of those right there so you have two balloons like that. And then pull them together and twist them, and you have like a bow tie. And then you take this balloon here, and you want to make a bumblebee, so this end is the longer end because the head's smaller. So you just make one end smaller than the other. There it is. And then you take this and wrap the wings around and back up. And now I like to make sure that they don't come off. So instead of just leaving it like this, I switch the wings around. So this wing goes over to the other side. This wing comes over here. That's now locked. And it won't just fall out the bottom. It has to go back around before it'll fall out. So you can't just come right back out of here. Okay? And then I like to form mine. Remember heat and pressure. And I like to bring these back and stick my thumb and fingers down in here and pull that back like that. And that gives that wing a little shape. See that? Come back here and put it back together again. And here. And remember, we talked about markers. And here's a place where I use a marker. And here and here. Okay. And then I come up here and I make a smile on here. And then when I turn this around, I say to the people, I say, you know, a bee is the only thing that can smile and look mean at the same time. and they like that. They like that show, you know. So yeah, it does. It's the only thing that can smile and look mean at the same time. See? There it is. That's a bumblebee. The other thing we like to do, I just did a walkathon where the kids were doing walks, and they just love hats, and because they don't have to carry those, okay? So we can make hats so that we can put some of our animals on the hats. We can make one with spiral. We can make one with a curl. We can put things like the heart on top of a hat and things like that. But we need to know the basic of a hat, and that's what I'm going to show you right now. The basics, you start with a fully blown balloon. And some people go and size a balloon around somebody's head, and that's okay, but it takes time. And another thing is sometimes you can't get the kid to come close enough so you can do that. So if you do it the way I do it, usually it will fit. Seldom do I have to make them smaller usually, but this usually works. And what I do is I take the fully blown balloon and divide it into three. So all I do is take it and fold it down and fold this end down, and you just pull the ends till they meet where the turns are on each end, okay? And then I let go of the end that isn't tied and hang on to that spot. So I know I have a third bubble right there, one of a third, okay? And the other one's sitting right here because I'm kind of marked it there, okay? But if I bring this down, and I usually like to do it this way, I'll bring this down like this, and I'll grab this nipple in my... Always happens when you try to sew something up. Grab this in here, and then I twist that around and pull it back through. It's not tied or anything, but it's spun around and then pulled back through, and that's plenty. So now I have three things. I got this one here and this third one here. Okay. Now I take this one here usually and make a bubble here and make a bear ear right there, bear ear, and push it down through and around. That kind of locks everything in place so it doesn't come back apart, and it locks this up in the straight. And then you put this on the kid's head. Look at how small of a head that could fit on, and it stays there, okay? And it opens up to a bigger head here. But you have an Indian hat with a feather sticking up this way, and some people would say, and then you got Daniel Balloon, where you have it sticking down on the head top of somebody's head, because you can stick this in somebody's collar, and then they have a halo. But then you don't want to put this in here for the halo. Okay. I hope you're seeing everything in the camera. Kathy keeps telling me to bring things down and put them in place for you. I hope everything is okay. That's this one here. That's this simple hat here. I also put a bear, kitty cat, tiger up here and here when they walk around with them, so that it's sticking up there. A monkey. I did bumblebees this morning for a couple of kids. So that's one hat that you can use for other things plus that. And then here's another. And these are just hat basics, is what I call them, because these are the two things that I use to make almost every hat. There's exceptions, but those again are in a more advanced situation. But again, dividing into thirds, okay, and twisting, coming back down here, twisting, and bringing the knot back around a couple times, locks it in, And then now this time, I'm going to take this part here, instead of putting it up and down in the back, I'm going to cut that in two right in here, and then I'm going to put a bubble on the other end. I'm trying to show you this, so it's not the actual handling that I do. And then I take this little bubble I made on this end, put it down around, all the way around, and then you have this situation here. Now I can tie things from up here, like the spiral from here, or the curl from there. I do the poodle standing up on his hind legs on top of here, and a few other things like that. So I make a pirate's hat where I take a bird body and make a skull head over the top here, and put it on sideways like this, so that there's a skull right up here. So that's the two types of hats that you can use. Okay. You can also bend this on this hat here, instead of having it sitting straight in the air, and put a flower on the end of this. You got to make this out of green, and you got a flower. Okay, so it can be used in a lot of different ways. Those are the hats. These are simple things. The bear should have been an advanced thing, but these are the simple, easy things to start with. And the next thing I want to show you is a giraffe. And I want to show you the giraffe because this is one of the best ways to show you the difference between somebody who blows balloons and somebody that sculpts a balloon. So I'm going to blow that one up now. That's one I blow the same all the time. It's at 4 inches at the bottom and full hand. That's how I measured that for this one. You have to remember, you have to measure things according to the way you work. So if you have a tendency to make things really, really tight, you're going to have it at a different length. And if you're going to have them very, very not so tight, then you have to blow them at a different length. You just have to start practicing and finding that measurement for yourself. This is my measurement. It's the way I do it. I'm sure most people can do that same measurement and make it work. Sometimes when you first start, you're using more balloon than you would after you've done it before for a long time. So this is my giraffe. I use my whole hand. That's the head part. That's the measurement. And the ears on the giraffe are the length of my finger. Like I said, I use every way to measure things as I go. Here's my second ear to match the other one, so it's right alongside of it. And then I know I'm making a giraffe. It's not going to be a dog I want, so I know I need more than that, so I just drop it down. Okay, and then I grab there and put my front legs in. And here's an interesting little thing here. A lot of people look at giraffes and they think the front legs are taller than the back legs, and they're not. They're basically the same length. However, when in balloon blowing, I make them shorter to create that same look that everyone else thinks they see. Okay, so I actually do make the back legs a little bit smaller, so that I created that look of upward swoop. But actually what's happening in a real giraffe is his neck becomes his body more up in here, so he looks like he's got shorter legs on it. So this what you see here is what a balloon blower used to do. This is the way we used to make balloons years ago. And this was also the way, remember when I said we used 350s to make balloons, and this is the way it would look too. But this is not what we call sculpturing today. This is just a balloon blowing situation. I'm going to sculpt this now so that you got a better looking animal, and yet you're not putting a lot more time into it. You're just making it look a little better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little S shape right in the neck, and that's done by grabbing the bottom of the neck and the top of the neck. I'm going to pull the top back and the bottom forward and give it a little squeeze. Now you got to be careful. This one's kind of tight, and if I squeeze it too much, it would pop. And now that I said the word, it might. It always seems to happen. But see what I've done? I've created a little bit better looking little shape for the neck. Okay? But it still didn't do the whole job, because I got this head up here I think can do a little bit better. And all I'm going to do here is grab that snout and squeeze it and pull the front part of it down. And that's going to give it kind of a camo-ish and look of a giraffe. Okay? And remember again, when we talked earlier, I use markers, I put a face on them. I always have a smile on all my animals. And when somebody walks out with that, they all know that it's still a giraffe. He may be standing on his head, but he's a giraffe. And there he is, giraffe. I got a little item here I want to do for you. A little item, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. This is a way that the same thing can kind of work into other things, okay? Someone showed me the turtle years ago. Remember I said there was a three blows of the mouth into that one there. You start with this there, and we make 5 bubbles. All 5 of these bubbles are the same size, and and then there's 6 bubbles all together. The last bubble that's left is in there, so you got the 6 bubbles, and you're going to tie off the 2nd through 5th bubbles. So you take these 4, and they're going to be twisted. Okay? And the way this was shown to me, you take this end here and shove it through here and pull it out the other end and work it that way. But what I found is that if you just grab this right here and pinch it tight so that it doesn't allow the air to come through, if you just place it down in here and roll the legs up over the top, that comes through anyway, and it forms the same thing we wanted to do. So it's down and pull the legs up over the top, and then pull this around the shell and come around here at the back and stick it through so that it sticks out there. And then you come back up in front. This is the back of the shell of the turtle. Here's the head. You take the nipple part and the knot and place your fingers underneath the head and just go all the way around your finger and down around the back. So now I'm up in here and stick that nipple back under your finger, and then when you pull your finger out, the nipple comes back through with it. It didn't that time, but I get it to do it every other time. If I don't show somebody, there it is. Okay, so that looks like this. And of course, here's again where your marker comes in handy. Shell. And a smiley face. There's your turtle. And I'm going to basically use the same system. This is the same thing. I'm just doing what I did with the turtle. There's the same 4. Same move through and around. Same move around the outside. Only this time, instead of pulling the tail out in front, I'm going to stick it down in so that there is no tail, like this. I'm going to do the same on the front so that I have this. And once again, using the marker, I can now change this change the turtle into a ladybug. So now I have two things. Basically, because I used the marker, I have two things. There's still people that call this a turtle, though. So, and then using that same idea, and blowing this up just slightly bigger, because I need one more bubble than I have there. Same thing. I got a little more bubble in here right now, like this. Now I'm going to make one more small bubble and make that into an ear. It'll be more like a cat ear than a bear ear, right there. And finish it up like I would have for the turtle and the ladybug. I've come up with this item here, and I still wrap this around. And then I have this little bumper up in front here, but I'm still going to tie that off like the turtle head. And now the turtle head is turned around and back up. So instead of out like this, instead of out like that, I've turned it around and come back with it like that. And here again, it doesn't look like much till you put this marker on it, but it's one item that lots of boys ask for, and I can give it to them because I've used the marker to glue it. But then he has a truck. Little truck. So you got turtle, a ladybug, and a truck, and they're all basically the same thing. And then I promised you that I would teach you the swan the easier way than what we tried to do earlier. We didn't. We did finally get one, didn't we? But this is the way I've taught myself now to do it. I'm blowing this up the same way I would for bear or anything else. We got that much snout on it. Okay? And we're tying it, and now we're going to make basically a bubble big enough for an elephant ear, and another one right next to it, and we're going to take the knot. This is the way I do that. I take this knot between my fingers, like that, and then I twist it around the one below. See that? This is where I'm going to put my twist. It's just quick, once or twice around, and then I pull the knot back through, and that's tied. That's tied enough. Okay. Then I'm going to go back here again, and I'm going to make this just a little bit longer the second time, just a tiny bit longer. It's just got to be a little bit longer than the time before, and we want to make sure that we can get at least two of them in a neck in there. So that, and then come back and match again. Okay. Now this time what I want to do is I want to put one of these through the center of here. So I just push it through that there. So I got this, and then I got to get those back so that I have I have the two big ones on top and the two small ones on the bottom, and they're connected in the back here so that they're like this. I have this shape here. This top area here where the bigger wings are, I pull this back through so that it's in that position there. And then what I need to do is to grab this whole place right here, kind of bend it forward, grab this right here, and pull it straight down alongside the balloon, and pull it a little bit. And then I need to squeeze with my right hand. The right hand I'm going to squeeze, and when I squeeze, I'm going to hold that for a while. So here comes the squeeze around, and I hold it for a second. It warms that up, and then I let go of that, and then they have the swan showing right up there. See that? And this swan's a little bit better. Can you hand me the old one? This swan is just a little bit better than the old one, because this one's got three things on it. It kind of waggles around in one way or the other. This one here, once you get it set where there's no static electricity, it'll kind of sit there and, you know, on its own. It's kind of flat on the bottom, and you can work things around. Would have, could have worked things around so that it's a little flatter too. So the other way, when they had the other part on it, but that's balloons. They'll pop anytime. I was doing a TV show one time, and I had a beautiful fruit basket all set and ready, and they set it on a table in front of us, and of course all the lights were on that table, and it was hot, and it popped it too. But that's my story. That's what we've done today. This is what I do for lecturing. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, Kathy, for helping me out and asking the questions for the people. And if you happen to have any questions, need to contact me. I live in Grand Rapids. My phone number is area code 616, and my phone number is 459-8454. And have a good time blowing balloons. Goodbye and thank you.